Hi everyone, we're Matt and Sarah. Welcome to our second garden tour of 2020. We are excited to share with you some new stuff going on in the garden. Some is good, we got a few not so good things too.
Yep. Let's get to it. This is the bed that we did with the kids, and they each have their own little flower beds. And then we planted some cucumbers in the back there that we had left over. And then over here we planted an Italian heirloom tomato, and we're hoping that all makes it, everything's fine. We gotta water everything again. I'm gonna do it tonight. I put in a bee box over here. I made a split to grow our apiary, so that doesn't have a queen yet, so just gonna let it sit aside. And I made that box with all my scrap lumber from doing the cutting boards. So
last week we went and put our lavender in, and it needs full sun, so we put it in a spot where it needs full sun. This is just a half of a tomato cage to protect it from getting trampled by the kids, but hopefully it grows up and we won't need to leave that there. We put a pot full of dill in under here as well, and it's not coming up yet, but hopefully soon, so we can make some pickles this year.
So the last video we had when we were in here doing our garden tour, we didn't have both tarps up, the shade cloth, and boy has it made a world of a difference. The hottest it's gotten so far was 83 in here, and it was, I believe, 89 outside, 88 or 89. And it stays a lot cooler in here because of the shade cloth, you know. And it also, I have the sides open and the window and the door. So with that, our stuff is growing very well. Our onions are just jamming. We've never ever had onions doing this well before. It is amazing. And you can see these marigolds. I wish I would have been out here earlier to show, or I wish I had you guys with to show you, but they were all crunched up into a little ball. And it was because I asked my son, he wanted to help. He kept begging me to help him. I said, can you just go and water the greenhouse? He said, yeah, Dad, yeah. So he went out and he started watering the greenhouse, and then all of a sudden, ding, light bulb. I didn't tell him to turn the hose on to get the hot water out first. So he got the marigolds first. Thank God it was nothing else, but they shriveled up to almost nothing. I thought they were all gone. It was just piping hot water out of a black hose, but they came back. They're doing well. So over here in the corner, we have cucumbers, and it's the bushy cucumbers, and it's growing so well. And I'm so I just want to reach and grab that little tiny cucumber and eat it. I love cucumbers, and not everyone loves them as much as I do in our family. So I'm excited because we have so many cucumbers that we should get a ton of them. Our lettuce is doing phenomenal. We've never ever grown lettuce this well before, and we think it's all because of the greenhouse. And we also got it started a lot sooner than what we normally could because of the greenhouse. So I think that's a huge help. But we've gotten, I wish we would have counted, but I know it's well over 4 cuttings already off of all of this. So, and it's still good, and it's not bitter, and it's not bolting. We did plant some more lettuce because we're going to try growing it all summer long. It's, you know, they say Minnesota you can't because it gets so hot. So with the shade cloths and stuff, we're hoping it'll work and grow it all summer long, and we have fresh salad. So we also are growing more radishes, and we're going to let a couple of them go to seed, so we can save the seeds for them to keep planting more throughout this winter, because our goal is to plant all winter long. And then over here next to the onions, we have another 2 rows of spinach. We love spinach, and actually this week we have to plant 2 more rows, so we have enough. And then next to the spinach, we have carrots, and those are popping and jamming. Those are doing very well. Then we also have the peppers, and the peppers are actually coming up pretty good. They're getting a hold. It's like they had a shock for a while, but they're coming back around and they're growing fast. And the red onions are doing very well too.
This is our broccoli. Almost all of it has these beautiful flowers on it, and although they're really pretty and we've seen the bees in here enjoying them, this is not good. It means it was either too hot in here, or they didn't get enough water. Maybe we didn't get the shade cloth up in time, but our broccoli isn't producing broccoli. It's producing flowers to produce seeds. And not all of it is, but most of it. So now we have some hard choices to make. We can either cut off these flower tops and see if we can get a little broccoli off the side shoots, or we can let it go to seed, collect some seeds, which would be great. We love broccoli, so maybe we could try to plant it in the fall. We're waiting to see how the greenhouse is all going to work, since this is our first year with it. Or do we pull the broccoli and use this space to plant something else? I don't know. Leave some comments down below if you have any suggestions, ideas for us, what you would do in this situation. I do want to collect some seed, but I'm a little nervous if we collect seed from all these broccoli plants, we're gonna have too much seed, or we're gonna accidentally have seed blowing around in here and we're gonna have some plants plant themselves. So some of the broccoli plants do look good, but some are going to seed. This large one back here that was planted a while back looks really good, but it's really tall, and we've only planted broccoli in a very mulched garden before, so they were always very short when they developed broccoli, and this one hasn't developed anything yet. So we're not really sure how that's gonna work. If it's gonna get too heavy, maybe it'll go to seed too, but time will tell. Our cauliflower is having a lot of the same difficulties that the broccoli did. About half of them have gone to flower already that we're expecting to go to seed. We aren't huge cauliflower fans, but it is nice to use it as a substitute or partial substitute for potatoes when we're cooking. So it is kind of a bummer. I'm hoping we still get some cauliflower off of the others. Our kohlrabi was planted really thick, and we were planning on thinning it out, and we never did. And then I thought, well, maybe as they come in we can pick some of the small ones and just thin it out and that way use them. But I'm nervous. I don't know if they're going to develop kohlrabi unless we thin them, so we'll see. Our celery hasn't come up yet, which isn't looking good. It does take a while to come up, but it should have already. So we're just going to probably replant. Spinach, we're letting this stuff go to seed. We have been still picking off some of the bigger ones at the bottom and enjoying that in our eggs in the morning. So another sad part about our garden is our tomato here in the greenhouse. It did so well. It survived negative temps, and now it just looks sad. We had pruned a while back the bottom leaves, just hoping to keep them off the ground. This tomato is a semi-determinate, so it's one that doesn't necessarily need pruning. We had just done that kind of to be proactive. And Matt had put this rope up so it had something to climb up and some strength, and then all of a sudden the leaves just changed. They started curling, they're kind of shriveling up, and they're turning downwards. So we're not sure what's going on with this tomato. If it didn't get enough water, if it has too much water, if the wind's affecting it, if it got too hot in here. The shade cover's on now, so I don't know if there was a shock in temperature change, what exactly the problem is, but we're kind of disappointed. Since it's the only tomato in here, we're leaving it in here for now because there's no other tomatoes if there's something wrong that it could damage, but we will just see what happens with it. If you have any advice for us on what to do about this tomato, it's kind of brittle. If you have any advice for us of what to do for this brittle leafed tomato with these curling leaves, let us know down below in the comments.
So we got the pumpkins up here and the watermelons. They're doing really good. They're growing very well. And you can see I did a couple more splits up there. Grow our bees. But anyways, the pumpkins and watermelon are doing good. The only one that's not is the one on this end. I think it's getting a little too much shade. It's a little too close to the woods, but we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, they don't grow. It's not the end of the world. We got plenty of stuff growing, so. Oh well.
On the outside of the garden, the borage and the marigolds are starting to come up. We still got to do a lot of weeding out here, but it's looking really cool to see all these big green plants popping up. Our cucumbers are starting to climb the trellises, which is exciting. We know it's just a matter of time before they're covering these. So, my potato experiment, our circle bed here, they are coming up and they need to be hilled badly. So I'm very excited. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to come out here and start covering up these greens, keep these potatoes covered so we can keep them growing.
So, guess what these are? Last year I planted a bunch of potatoes around here, and when I collected them last year, I left 2 bigger ones, but then I left a couple of smaller ones. And we have a bunch of potatoes growing now around the tree. Some of them didn't come in because I left some here too, but they never did come up, so oh well, maybe they still will. But it's cool to get some volunteer potatoes, and it works because Paul Gauchi is the one who, he had said that what he does is he takes them out, leaves the biggest one behind, and then it's planted for next year. So we wanted to try it, and it actually worked. Who knew?
Our zucchini came up. I planted 3 hills. I put 4 seeds in each hill. 2 of the hills, 4 seeds came up, and the other one, 3 of the seeds came up. So we will have lots of zucchini. Right, Matt?
Yes, sir. So over here in our manure pile, we got 2 tomato plants volunteered. So they probably won't get any fruit this year, but oh, 3. There's one over there. 4, one right there.
Our jalapenos have little blossoms on them, and we're letting them stay. Most of our veggies that have blossoms are getting to stay now. They probably could be picked if we want things to get a little bit bigger, but at the same time, we've got 4 jalapeno plants. We are gonna have so many jalapenos. Let's get them started.
Jalapeno poppers, yes!
Something else really exciting, Leroy had painted this bee house out in the garden, and we put it out here, and it's been out here so long, and the kids almost got sick of checking it and there not being anything new going on in it. And now there are 5 little mudded up spots in the bee house where some wild bee has come and laid something in there, and it's growing back behind that mud. So exciting to see the pollinators being able to utilize the things we put out for them.
This is week 2 of 2020. The sunflowers are knee high. We'll see how much they grow by next week.
We came out in the garden one day and there were all these strawberries just laying all over the ground. Look at these things. Just kidding, these are rocks. The kids painted all these strawberry rocks to deter birds. We've never had an issue with birds in the garden, but I told the kids about this idea that you could paint rocks to look like strawberries, put them around your strawberry bed, and if a bird really wanted to try that fruit, they're gonna come try the rock, peck on it, realize it's not food, and hopefully for the rest of the strawberry picking season, they just assume the rest of the strawberries are rocks too. We'll see if it works. But guess what, guys? We really do have strawberries now. Look at this strawberry. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly red. The kids haven't picked it and eaten it yet. Matt, I think we need to eat these strawberries.
It was good.
Hey! I was at a full plate.
I didn't do what you wanted.
This was our first garden grown strawberry of 2020, and Matt ate that much of it.
I didn't get any last year. That's pretty good.
It's really good.
It looks like there's gonna be about 3 more for tomorrow, so the kids will be happy. They were not happy tonight when we told them they couldn't eat any.
There was only 1. It wasn't enough for them.
I don't think it was enough for you. It should have been just me.
Thanks for watching our second garden tour of the year 2020. We hope you enjoyed this video.
If you guys like the content, I want you guys to give it a thumbs up, please, and If you haven't subscribed, why don't you subscribe down below and watch for more content coming out. You can hit the little bell when you subscribe. And glad you got to see us again.
Bye.
Bye.